has to do with how loud that crowd is, and they're going to be going. You got to give them a reason to be quiet, and if not, it's extremely challenging place to play. You're not going to be able to hear, and we got to expect that.
What? Are you kidding me? Oh, my goodness. Philly fans, you heard that. Kyle Shanahan hoping to keep the crowd quiet on Sunday. Meanwhile, the Eagles on the practice field today getting ready for a wild card matchup with the 49ers. Woo! It's playoff time, baby. Let's go. Welcome to the players-only edition of Birds Huddle, presented by Toyota. I'm Barrett Brooks. This is Jason Avant. Bro, come on now, man. Are you serious? You can't say that to us. Not to us, man. You just can't do it.
You're just looking for something. You're looking for something to get them riled up. You're looking for something.
But how fired up are you, man? How fired up are you that, we're in the playoffs now? This is playoff football. How crazy is this for us to be here? And this crowd is going to go nuts on it.
They're going to go crazy, right? So the Eagles fan are just looking for bulletin board material. We are going to hear a story about how the Niners dressed up Rocky statue, something to get them fired up for Sunday. And I'm looking forward to it because I know we have a home field advantage against this team. Last time they were seeing ghosts. Let's make it happen again.
No question. Well, hey, here's our three-point stance presented by Toyota. First stance, Vic Fangio will have an answer for the 49ers offense. What do you think, bro?
So Vic Fangio may have an answer. We will see. We'll see. The reason I say that is because this team does some things really well, and they can deploy their offense in a way where Cooper DeJean is not on the field. So if they go 21 personnel, that is 2 running backs and 1 tight end.
Yep.
Juszczyk and, McCaffrey and Kittle, right? We can choose to go base to that, which is Jahad Campbell, Nakobe Dean, and Zach Bond. We cannot do that. Keep Cooper DeJean on the field, and if we do that, we have the advantage. But we don't want Christian McCaffrey, Kittle being guarded by Zach Bond, Nakobe Dean, Marcus Epps, Bree Blankenship the whole game. So if they solve that, we'll be just fine. I think we can handle their run game just like Seattle did.
No question, because just like you're saying, you put in, it's actually nickel, but it's actually our base defense when you have 2 linebackers in and you have, you have Cooper in there. I think my big thing is we can't get all enamored with all the motions and things like that. Kyle Juszczyk is great at going out there. Where he goes usually is where the ball goes. Mm-hmm. So if we follow the bouncing ball, Juszczyk, the fullback, I think he'll take us to the play. And I really think if we can control him and Kittle, I think we can have a great game against their offense. We're talking about a team that, look at Shanahan. Shanahan wanted to bring in Vic Fangio as a defensive coordinator, but they just didn't work it out. But the respect that he has and what he's done in the league, I guarantee you that at this point, they're thinking about, all right, how are we going to stop this defense as far as pass rushing with Hunt, the way he's getting up the field? I mean, Hunt also has, 3 interceptions. He leads the team in sacks. I think they're trying to game plan him right now more than anything.
One of the good things about this is that Seattle's defense that dominated the 49ers this past week is very similar to our defense. They run dime and they run nickel as a base, right?
Yes.
So we can do that against them, but they have a potent defensive line. We're going to need a healthy Jalen Carter. We're going to need Jalen Phillips, Jalen Hunt to continue to play the way they're playing in order for us to have a chance. But just to think that we're going to stop this team in the passing game without a pass rush, it's not going to happen because they can avoid Quinyon Mitchell altogether.
Well, I also think, you got Big Davis. He's got to be a major factor. But, hey, their best tackle, Trent Williams, he practiced today, so that's kind of like, all right, we got to make sure we bring it now. All right, our second stance, we have to see playoff Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, we definitely need playoff Jalen Hurts. And what that means is running Jalen Hurts. We need you to make some plays with your legs, especially on third downs. They have a big gap in their defense. A lot of times they do not cover the center, and sometimes they don't cover the guards or the center. So that is yards up the middle of the field on quarterback design runs. When you get an opportunity, when you're on the edge, make sure that you're using your legs. And then we need an efficient Jalen Hurts, especially on the outside. They have Renardo Green, which is a young player. Upton Stout, young player. We can attack these guys on the back end with A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, and let's get some creativity to help Jalen Hurts out. Just like they put JSN in the slot and in the backfield in funky places, let's put A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith in funky places in order to gain an advantage.
Absolutely, and I'm also looking at putting them up on the center, and then when you play that defensive end, when he's up in the center, you can't just crash that in like they usually do. You crash that in, Hurts is a good enough athlete. He can get around there and go run for first downs. And I think that's going to be key. His ability to keep that defender, inside or outside the box, making them look for him. It's almost like you have to spy him. That's just another player out of the coverage and another player out of the run game when you just assign one guy to Jalen Hurts. I think he can be a big, big factor in that capacity. Also, I just need Jalen to be Jalen. Go out there calm, cool, relax. Big-time Jalen underneath the lights. He's done a great job of that, so I expect big things from him.
You got Jalen, and then you got Jalen and Kevin Patullo, who will be in his first playoff experience. Let's see what kind of game plan that he comes up with, because Robert Saleh, when he was at the Jets against Jalen Hurts, caused him to throw some interceptions and play subpar in that particular game. Will Kevin Patullo's game plan help Jalen out? And I said something that can actually benefit the team. Put your players in funky formations, second and third, like we did in Commanders game, where they were in different spots. It'll help this team out because the 49ers do not match well. You can get a linebacker on A.J. Brown.
Oh, what he means like minor splits meaning have that receiver a little closer to that offensive tackle. Now you're forcing somebody to account for him. But I also think that if he can keep that motion, he got out of it a little bit. But remember, he started, you talked about it a lot, when he motioned A.J., now you can't just, play him like they usually play him inside, keep him from running slants. When you motion him, they got to back up. They can't declare which way they're going to go, and that's when he's best. He getting off the line, and you can't put your hands on him. I truly believe he can get some separation that way.
Yeah.
And we're not even talking about Smitty. I mean, we got 2,000-yard receivers. I know we're talking about running the ball, but we got to take advantage of two rookie corners on the outside.
Yeah.
It's almost like taking candy from a baby. This is playoff time. They don't know anything about this. They ready to go home and kick it. Oh, we started in the NFL. You know what I'm saying? They ready to go kick it. So I truly believe Patullo has to play, or has to call a game in which we use Jalen, use motions, use personnel packages, and make sure that we just flat out just maul that defense. All right. Well, let's go to number 3. Stance number 3, a healthy and rested offensive line will dominate the game. We've got to put, with Johnson coming back, we've got to put these guys in a position where, all right, we've rested. Now they got to come in and ball it for this team.
Well, I don't know if they're 100% rested. I will say is that this is the stance, number 3, that I feel most confident in. The offensive line against this 49ers run front. They have Bryce Huff on this defense.
Right.
Bryce Huff on tape, everyone attacks him. They run the ball to his side. They toss the ball to his side. They try to get him against tight ends. He's still losing against tight ends, just like he did here. And the dude does not recognize defensive or offensive fronts or offensive schemes. He will go up the field every single time on a toss crack and not go outside one time. So I'm looking forward to us at taking advantage of Bryce Huff being on that field and them not covering the center. We can make them pay. You know how when that center can go up into a double team, knock a defensive tackle off, and now he's on the Mike linebacker. This defense was made for Fred Warner, and he is not out there. And now we have an advantage.
And plus, their second-team guys out, too. So this is a decided advantage for us. With Tatum not being there, it gives you an opportunity now to take over, up front and really drive guys out. I'm looking to see how Cam Jurgens, how healthy he is going forward. Because if he's healthy, the sky's the limit on what you can run on this offense. I don't care what you call it. If you have a guy in the middle of your offense that's not playing well because they're hurt, they're injured, hopefully he's cool now and he can go back to playing. We could even run the tush push because his back was, or whatever was ailing him, didn't allow him to get low enough and be the point of attack to press guys out. So I just like you, I think we're going to dominate him with this offensive line. We're healthy enough to dominate him. I'm just looking for us to go ahead and do it, man. Mm-hmm. It's imperative that we do. So,